What did the other moms do when they saw a dad bringing his daughter to ballet class? They called the cops on me and claimed I was creeping on their little girls. You see, my daughter decided to try ballet 6 months ago, and with my wife being deployed overseas, I was the one to bring her. But the first time we went, I was made feel guilty for bringing my daughter to chase her dreams. I was the only man there and heard whispers about how I was dangerous. During the lesson, a mom approached me. No introduction. Just, it's strange that a man wants to be here surrounded by little girls. I wanted to get into an argument, but that would look terrible on my daughter's first day, so I just moved to the corner where I would be out of sight. But that wasn't enough. That's exactly the angle a creep would pick, a different woman said. I tried to ignore her, but then she paused the entire rehearsal. She stood up, waved her hand, and started shouting, "Excuse me," in that signature pitch-perfect Karen tone. The instructor walked over. "I saw him recording our daughters." The woman pointed at me. I literally did a double take. My phone is one of those Nokia bricks that takes 240p photos at sloth speed, and it was in my pocket the whole time. I pulled out my Nokia brick to show the instructor, but she didn't even look at it. She outright said what's important is not whether or not I actually did it. Sorry, ma'am, what? But that these women clearly feel unsafe with me being here. She told me I would have to wait somewhere else during practices, or she'd have to call the police for recording minors. I remember looking over and seeing my daughter go red. I was so embarrassed for putting her through this. Part of me contemplated just crashing out, but then I'd look insane. And because my daughter's dreams mattered more than anything, and the nearest other academy was 2 hours away, I complied. For weeks, I sat upstairs in the ballet history room where I couldn't see the practice floor. I could have waited in my car, but I wanted to be there so if anything went wrong, I could at least hear it. And then it did. It was 65 minutes into the session when I heard this loud crack followed by a scream. My daughter's scream. This wasn't a normal kid cry either. The kind of cry that makes any parent's stomach drop and face go pale. I flew down those stairs quicker than I thought possible. Then I saw my daughter on the floor, crying in pain, her ankle bent the wrong way at a 90-degree angle, screaming hoarse. That's when I did what got me into this whole mess. I rushed over to help my daughter, or at least tried, because 3 moms literally formed a wall at the dance floor entrance. "We're sorry about your daughter, but we're not letting a creep near our children." I wasn't even listening to them this time. Just pushed past them. Not hard, just enough to get through. The gasps from everyone were theatrical. I dropped beside my daughter. I started examining her ankle, keeping her still, calling 911. She was begging me to make the pain stop. I heard the moms actually yelling at the instructor, telling them to get this creep off the floor and threatening to pull their daughters out. Then this little girl, maybe 7, walked over and knelt down. She wiped my daughter's tears. From what I knew, this girl was her best friend here. I touched the girl's shoulder and said, "Thank you, sweetheart." The moms lost their minds immediately. More gasps, whispers, and I heard one of them. 911? Yes, we have an emergency. Still, I was too preoccupied to care. The ambulance and police arrived at the same time, 10 minutes later. I was climbing into the ambulance with my daughter when an officer tapped my shoulder from behind. The moms were all screaming over each other. "He's a creep! He just assaulted me! He's been recording our daughters for weeks! He just grabbed that little girl!" My daughter yelled at everyone. "My daddy is innocent!" But no one listened. I took her hand and told her I'd be right there with her. She nodded and wiped her tears. But then I turned around and the cop's whole demeanor changed. Saw his face go from sympathetic to almost disgusted when he saw my brown skin. His voice went from unsure to judgmental in a second. "Sir, from what these women are telling me, I'm going to need you to come to the station." "Daddy needs to come with me," my daughter yelled at the cop. He looked past me and at her as if he knew what she needed better than we did. I tried to explain myself, but every word I said was interrupted by the moms. When the officer checked my Nokia and found nothing, he sighed. "Still need to talk to you." He cuffed me as the ambulance doors started closing. "No, don't take my daddy," my daughter tried to get out of her gurney, but pain shot through her and she grabbed her foot. Her hand was still stretched out, extending to where mine should have been when the medics closed the door. Officer's orders. Without another word, the officer turned me around and put me in handcuffs. The mother of the girl who'd hugged my daughter was pressing charges. In the police car, the officer was talking about 15 years in prison, all while the hospital was calling my number repeatedly. When I got to the station, the woman pressing charges was already there. Even worse, her victim's advocate had already arrived. She was comforting her in the lobby, very publicly, while I was led past in cuffs. Everyone stared. I was already convicted in their eyes. Full story on channel linked below.